Hey guys, this is Josh. We're going to be covering the proposal component today regarding the pilot study, which involves setting up a report quality table to be delivered automatically out of your Equus Enterprise system. So I have an Equus Enterprise dashboard set up right now up on my screen. It is a demo website. We've got basically two widgets on the dashboard. We have the ability to upload information into the system, and then we have our EasyView widget to pull data back out of the system. And the EasyView widget can be set up for any report in Equus. They can be customized in Equus Professional or by using Crystal Reports or one of the third-party interfaces to make it kind of report quality ready. So in this case, we've set up table 5-1 from the example report provided to be generated automatically out of the system. We'll get into uploading the information in a minute. We're going to jump right into the EasyView settings for this widget here, which lets us control the automated report generation. So to access that, you hit the ellipses menu, which is the three dots up here in the top right, and we go to edit. So if we wanted to edit the report itself, we would go here, and this lets us kind of switch locations and change which monitoring wells or date ranges or chemicals we're pulling from. We don't need to edit that right now. That has been set up to basically mimic the chemicals and everything that's required for table 5-1, so we've set that up already. What we are going to look at is this Environmental Information Agent menu, or EIA. So we're going to click the settings box for that. Now, when we pull this open, we're able to see all of the information agents that are generated and active. So I've already set one up here, but we can also create multiple information agents for reports. This is helpful if different people need different information in different formats, and we'll get into that in a minute when we look at the settings for it. But just know that you can create multiple information agents for a report. I'm going to go ahead and select the one that's already been set up here. And to access the information for it, you would click this tab up here in the top left, the Equus Information Agent tab. So there's three main sections to this settings dialog box. The first one is to enable the agent and then select how often or when it runs. In this case, we've got it set up to run anytime new data comes into the system, which makes sense for this workflow. But do know that you can schedule it out based on daily, weekly, monthly schedules. Those can be really fine-tuned to the specific hour, day, or time, and you can be flexible with that. But in this case, we'll just select new data. The middle menu here is you can also select new information here so that the table only includes the new data, not any of the old data. That can be helpful. You can limit it to data trigger, so this report will only run if there is a certain groundwater quality exceedance. You can set those triggers here, or you can use it to select which groundwater quality criteria you wanted to compare against in the database. Since we don't really need any of this stuff set up, we're going to leave those all unchecked. And then the last section over here on the right has to do with setting up the email itself. So in this case, I have an email being sent to jclay@hoosieranalytics.com. You can add anybody to this email list. So it doesn't have to be somebody on your domain. They do not have to be an Equus subscriber. They don't have to be an account holder. You do not have to pay extra for them. You can just add as many email addresses here as you want. You can edit the subject line. You can edit the attachment name itself, and then you can select the file type. So in this case, this is designed to be a Microsoft Excel report, so we have that one selected. But do know that you can select these other file types: CSV, text files, Google Earth KMZ files, ArcGIS shape files, PDF files, JSON. This becomes helpful if you're sending information out to, let's say, your GIS team. You could set up, based on the previous screen, a separate information agent for your GIS team so that they're receiving a shape file with the exact same data in it. You can set up an information agent for your third-party data validator so that they're getting it in a Excel format that works for them, or maybe they need CSV. So it kind of lets you control it that way, and you have lots of flexibility here. So if you wanted to change anything about that, you could even control the message and start typing in and add anything you want to the message. In this case, though, we're going to leave everything kind of as is. So anytime new data is loaded to the system, generate this email and send it out and include a Microsoft Excel report ready table. So with that in place, we're going to go ahead and close out of this dialog box. And now we're going to talk a little bit about moving data into the system. So we have essentially three ways to get information into your Equus. The way third parties interface with it, there's three major ways to get it into Enterprise. So one is by email. We can set up an email server so that it is ready to receive EDDs. There is some setup involved with that. We've worked with laboratories to do it, though. It's not too difficult. The file naming convention on those need to be pretty rigorous, and their user certificates for the system need to be included in the zip file so that the system basically knows where and who is uploading that information. If you go the second option for uploading data, which is what we're looking at on the screen now, is the EDP widget on a dashboard. You don't need to be really specific about the file naming. You don't even have to really specify the facility or the user because all of that's already captured in the enterprise account. So we are logged into this facility up here, and I am logged in as myself. So it's going to take that information that's required, being the facility ID and the user certificate, and drop those in automatically for me. I like the web portal because all you really have to do is click this browse button, select the EDD you want. In this case, we're selecting the EDD that you guys provided as an example, and just hit open. And that's it. It's pretty straightforward for a laboratory to do that once they're logged into your system. So as that EDD is being processed, it's going to move that information in and generate the information agent component to it as well, that Microsoft Excel file. But while that's processing, it can generally take around 4 to 5 minutes depending on the enterprise server settings. I think I have this one set to go every 5 minutes. Oh, but it's already come in. But before we jump in that email, the third way to upload information in is via FTP. We like FTP servers because they're easy in the field. If you have a field team that is doing pretty remote work and they have a lot of EDDs stored from that day where there was no internet access, FTP lets them bulk upload individual EDD packets in mass. We also like this for data migrations. And that way the system can just kind of process through them one at a time and work through them, but you could bulk upload them. Again, same thing, the naming convention of those files is pretty rigorous. The user certificate requirement is mandatory, but it does allow for kind of a more easy, seamless upload process if you're processing bulk files. So let's go ahead and open up that email. Just came in, so here's our new tables for Granada already. And table 5-1 is attached. Email came in just fine. I'm going to go ahead and double click the Excel file. And when that opens up, we've got a report quality Excel file ready to go. So again, we tried to mimic as close as possible the color schemes and the fonts and everything we could from the provided example and the quarterly report. We definitely matched up the series and the order for your chemical names and the abbreviations. In this case, the formatting for the cells themselves were also matched. And then we've also got your notes as well. So this is ready to PDF. We like sending out the Excel files though, just in case anybody needs to do last minute edits or have more control over the column widths, or if there's any kind of fine tuning that needs to happen by an administration or administrative person after it's sent to them. But we certainly can set the system up to, if you guys are happy with the report format as it is, and you're comfortable with the workflow, we could definitely have these send out PDFs as well that truly are ready to go right once it hits your email. So that in a nutshell is how an Equus enterprise system that is functioning and operating and set up should be working. Laboratory moving data into the system via web portal, email or FTP, and then an EasyView widget for all of your report tables set up to automatically generate your report quality tables. The other good thing though is that these are available here to download at will. So if you want it before the EIA, or you maybe deleted the email, you can always come in and download the file in a format that you want right here. You can also access all of these reports through Equus Professional, Equus AutoCAD interface, and the ArcGIS Online interface. And we'll touch on that in the next video later on down in the proposal, and dive into the ArcMap components to it. But know that the person who's generating the maps and the person who is writing the report will have access to all of the same reports, and they'll be using the exact same information to generate their data sets for the report. So if you have any questions at all for the rest of the proposal, feel free to call or reach out, email us anytime, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks, guys.